A very good morning and welcome once again to Eagles Outlook. Today being May 29, 2024. And this is where we talk politics and current affairs and bring it to your audiovisual sensation as well as your audiovisual consciousness, because we have strong presence across social media platforms, talking about YouTube, Instagram, X, that is formerly called Twitter, and as well as TikTok, yes, and Facebook. So we have a strong presence at Eagles FM Abuja. You might want to get across all of these platforms to ensuring that what I say is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. My name is Udwak Daniel, and today, it's no news the fact that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's first year in office has been marked with some significant challenges, including economic difficulties and security threats. Well, despite all of these obstacles, though, the administration has somewhat made some notable progress in various areas, right? You might as well want to consider the fact that one of such, achievements would be the unveiling of 3 gas plants, right? The investment in evangelism and promotion of agricultural projects, a single window for import and export businesses, distribution of meters and payment of debts in the power sector. Of course, the president has been very strong in that one now. Social programs such as the credit and student loan schemes, we should not take it away from the president. I mean, that he did within this 1 year of his reign so far. And there's been also some infrastructure development right there. One of such would also include the Lagos-Calabar Expressway and other road projects that's still ongoing, and security measures, of course, including the sweep of the Sambisa forest. I'm not sure some of you know that there's been a sweep of the Sambisa forest and deployment of technology to enhance security operations, I beg your pardon. And then just recently, right, we also saw the Minister of Finance, if I'm not mistaken, Wale Adun, has come out to saying that we have enough to settle our debts, that we should not indeed be a country that is only vexed that is only vested in borrowings outside the shores of Nigeria, but we can as well begin to, find a way to solving or paying our debts. And that is something that, yes, many of Nigerians are saying this is a step in the right direction. But we'll be also delving into one of such, that would become or should become an achievement in the course of this administration's efforts towards ensuring that governance is indeed felt by, the grassroots. And that would be the matter that bothers around the ongoing saga between the federal government and the 36 state governors, where the federal government, has sued the 36 state governors. But you should also know that today being May 29, doesn't make it Democracy Day, as Democracy Day is actually June 12. So yes, it was moved during the Buhari administration and all of that, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is keeping to it that way too. But however, we would call this day the handover day, if you like, or the first year of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration reign, even though there has been conflicting information about President Bola Tinubu's plans to address the National Assembly. On the one hand, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, best talking about Bayo Onanuga, and the National Assembly spokesperson Yemi Adaramodu and Akin Rotimi, they came out to announcing that President Tinubu would address a joint session of the National Assembly on May 29, being today. Well, on the other hand, though, the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, in the person of Ajuri Ngalali, denied this and stating that the president's office was not involved in planning the event and no address is scheduled. So this conflicting information has caused some sort of confusion, though, among Nigerians, but I mean, it's been straightened up right there. Yeah. Well, we will be having this discourse with our guest, who's in the person of Dr. Austin Maho. He's going to be joining via phone call, and He's a lecturer and public affairs commentator, publisher, Daybreak Nigeria newspaper, right? We'll be joining him in a very, very short bit, as he's already standing on ground and very ready to have this conversation. The borders around the federal government suing the 36 state governors, right? Meanwhile, though, when you look at all of that that's going on, I mean, you already know what's going on in Kano State, yeah? Where there are conflicting judgments or orders. I wouldn't call that judgments. These are orders. Federal High Court is saying one thing. A state high court is saying yet another thing. There's been quite a lot of conflicting going on there. And many of us have said, advised that, look, it's high time, the NJC looked into these issues and, of course, brought it into, the right standing so that we know where we fall. And so that the state of Kano, which is indeed an ancestral state, and very pivotal to the history of Nigeria, would not have a state of emergency or an unrest situation, because I'm not sure Nigeria can handle such. Well, meanwhile, the ongoing tussle between the federal government and the 36 state governors over local government autonomy has reached, a crescendo, if you like, a critical juncture where with the federal government taking the unprecedented step of suing the state governors at the Supreme Court, right? Now, this move marks a significant escalation in the long-standing impasse between the two tiers of government, right, with far-reaching implications for the future of grassroots governance in Nigeria. Well, as the matter, heads to the highest court in the land, Nigerians are eagerly awaiting a resolution that would bring an end to the protracted dispute, and also, open up ways of new vista, pave way for true federalism, which quite a number of us have been calling for. And the federal government's bold move has sparked renewed hope among advocates of local government autonomy, who have long argued that the current system of joint accounts and the state government control has stifled the ability, right, of local governments to function effectively, right? And we were also to be joined by a former local government chairman from the Gwagwalada axis right there, but seemingly he's not made himself available for that conversation, though. But well, we are joined already now by our guest, Dr. Austin Maho. Dr. Austin Maho, welcome aboard.
Yeah, Daniel.
Yes, good morning to you, please. Yes, please. It's May 29, and Nigerians are talking. Quite a number of Nigerians saying, what is there to celebrate? Others are saying there is something to celebrate. If not for anything, we should celebrate life. But beyond that, though, it is also very noteworthy to bring to the fore the fact that the president had also, in his one, been able to achieve a couple of things: unveiling of 3 gas plants, investment, evangelism and promotion of agricultural projects, single window for import and export businesses, distribution of meters, social programs, infrastructure development, including the Lagos-Calabar Expressway and other road projects, security measures, including the sweeping of Sambisa Forest, where in the news, it was on the headlines of one of the dailies, I think a few days ago, it was said that in fact, the troops have decided now to mount their camps in the forest. In other words, they make the forest their hotel, so to speak, and the deployment of technology to enhance security operations, where even the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, had come out to saying that we have enough to settle our debt, and he said substantially we're leveraging on technology, as it stands, the progress that we've made in terms of technology. When you put all of these together and looking at the federal government, taking a bold step in suing the 36 states of the federation governors and saying that, hey, you have to give autonomy, freedom to the local governments right there. It begs to give a thumbs up. But if you're to make an appraisal for the 1 year of Mr. President, what would it be?
Yeah, generally, if I am to score the administration based on its 1 year performance, personally, I'll score the administration very, very low, very low. But however, there are, like you highlighted in your opening remarks, there are a little sparks of hope that the administration may yet be able to wake up from its slumber and going down, you know, in the next 3 years. Hopefully, the administration will be able to offer more to Nigerians. Because if you look at the views and opinion of Nigeria, the last 1 year has been hellish. And if you want to rate the performance of the administration, we have to rate it based on how it affects us as individuals.
Right.
So, at the popular Reagan question, political question? Are we as Nigerians, are we better off today than 1 year ago? You as a Nigerian, are you better off today than you were 1 year ago? Economically, is the country better off? It is how the administration has impacted you in the last 1 year as an individual. I think that should be the criteria for judging whether the administration has performed better than the previous administration. And the verdict is out there. Most Nigerians will tell you that, look, we are not better off. On the eve of May 29th, 2029, many Nigerians were better off than they are today. If you look at all the indices, especially the economic indices,
right,
what is the rate of inflation today compared to this time last year? What was the pump price of gas at this time last year? What was the cost of a bag of rice? What was the cost of the living condition of the people is what matters in judging the achievement and performance of any administration. And from all indication, I don't think the government have done well. Maybe the government could have done better, but a lot of people still feel 1 year is too short a time to actually judge the performance of any administration. We have to give them more time. Hopefully, when we give them more time, they'll be able to put their act together, put corrective measures in place where they need to correct, and sharpen their policy pronouncement in order to give a better life to Nigeria. But so far, if you are to read the administration, not much has been done. I spoke about policy, which was the last part of your introduction in terms of trying to give autonomy to local government.
For local governments,
yes. That policy statement is very important because it's a constitutional issue. It's a question of interpreting the Constitution.
Right.
What does the Constitution recognize? The Constitution recognizes that there are 3 tiers of government. You have the federal, the state, and the local government. This is a constitutional matter, and whereby the critical arm of government that is supposed to be closest to the people is laying prostrate, because many state governors have not allowed it to function properly as a result of their own political interests. It is equally something the government needs to look at, to seek constitutional interpretation, to say, look, why are there no democratic structure at the lowest arm of government, that is our local government structure? Why is it that in most states of the federation, what we have as local government are caretaker committees set up by the state government? And how have they performed in creating, giving the citizens a sense of inclusivity,
right?
As in enjoying this so-called democracy, or at the lowest level of governance, or what we are operating is more like an autocracy rather than a democracy, where the chief executive of the state, handpicks select individuals to go and, perform administrative function. And whereas the funds that is, and using that process, to hijack the funds meant for the development of local council. Because when the federal government releases the funds of local government, it goes into the so-called joint accounts of the states. And from what we know, joint accounts is supposed to operate like the federation account. Constitutionally, every funds, every money accruing to the federal government goes into the consolidated revenue account.
Right.
It is when it gets into the consolidated revenue account that the sharing, the so-called FAC, Federal Allocation Committee, now sit down, look at what has come in within a period of time, and now make allocation to states based on certain criteria: population, contribution, derivation, and other factors. The same thing is supposed to happen at the state level. When that money that is coming from the federal gets into the state's purse, the state is now supposed to equally give accounts of its own internally generated revenue.
Right.
At the state level, they now pull everything together in a common purse. Then you now disburse to each local government and say, this is your share, this is your share. That is the principle behind having what you call joint accounts between the states and the local government.
So what?
But we do know.
Yeah. What advantages would that
the
be?
State governors don't allow the revenue that is supposed to go to the local council to get to them. They hijack it and use it for other purposes. So the consequence is that there is no democracy at a local government level, and there's no governance. The local government chairman, if they exist, or the caretaker committee chairman, they only just have enough funds to pay local government workers and no funds to carry out actual development. And I believe that is the purpose of this instituted by the federal government, to correct this anomaly, to say, look, the federal government cannot be paying funds directly to an account set up by the state governors. It is an aberration. That money coming from the federal level should go directly into the purse account of the local council. And where a democratically elected government doesn't exist at the local council level, then it becomes illegal for such a local government to receive funds from the federal government. I think if we get a proper interpretation based on the provisions of the Constitution to this issue, it will help our democracy, it will help development at the local council. It will put an end to this high-handedness by chief executive of states, which have stifled development, at the local council.
All right. Well, that being said, you mentioned something that's very, very strategic. Well, the Nigerian Constitution guarantees the system of local government by democratically elected local government councils. And some of the sections would include the fact that the system, in Section 7, the system of local government by democratically elected local government councils is guaranteed. The government of every state shall ensure that their existence under a law which provides for the establishment, structure, composition, finance, and functions of such councils. And Section 8 says the House of Assembly has the authority to create new local government areas. A bill for a law of a House of Assembly for the purpose of creating a new local government area shall not only be passed if a request supported by at least 2/3 majority of members representing the area demanding the creation of a new local government area in each of the following is received by the House of Assembly. All right, and then there is what is called the fourth schedule, where the main functions of a local government council include the consideration and making of recommendations to a state commission on economic planning or any similar body, collection of rates, radio and television licenses, establishment and maintenance of cemeteries, burial grounds, and homes for the destitute or in or infirm, licensing of bicycles, trucks, other than mechanically propelled trucks, canoes, wheelbarrows and carts, and so much more. And it seems as though the job of the local government is indeed a job that we have not seen the local government authority in itself, take due course to these, jobs and responsibility, because from your narrative, and from where the federal government is coming from, saying that it has been hijacked by the state governors. But let's open the phone lines so that we can have their say loudly and clearly. First of all, you might also want to, add your voice to matters that concerns given assessing the 1 year of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu based on his based on the achievements and all of that. And then you might as well want to tell us what you think about the ongoing tussle between the federal government and the 36 state governors with regards giving local government autonomy, and what you think that might indeed do for the society and for the generality of people of Nigeria. Number to call is 0907 353 0044 or 0908 766 8888. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, morning, my brother.
Yeah, what's your name? Where you calling from? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Mr. Sunday the Prince calling.
Sorry, what's your name?
Mr. Sunday the Prince calling.
Oh, Mr. Sunday the Prince. Where are you calling from, though?
Thank you.
Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm calling from Gariki right now.
All right, let's have your take. Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about the local government and also 1 year assessment of
Exactly.
the administration, right?
Exactly.
Well, you see, that is why me personally, I don't like this federal system of government we are practicing. It makes things not working. It makes things not working at all. I think we're practicing to federalism. All these things won't be happening.
Right.
Because the local government will sit up, the state government will sit up, while the federal government will sit up. The local government will make revenue, pay return to the state government. State government will make revenue, pay return to federal government. Then today, it's the federal government that is feeding both the state and the federal. And even the local government. They will collect all the revenue from all the local government, then share the money. The local government that are making more money, the state that are making more money, are the ones feeding those states that are not making anything.
Right.
And that's why many of the governors become lazy. They don't want to look inward to harness the natural resources they have in their various state and local government. They allow non-state actor to be mining something ordinarily would have helped the state to grow. But if we have practiced to federalism,
right,
everybody will be busy. Some states that cannot do better will emerge with other states. Instead of creating large local governments and are not producing anything, you're using other local government money to feed some local governments.
Yeah.
And that is why the governor has taken over all the local governments, put it into their purse, because they are talking about election. All they are looking is election, because bulk of the votes come from the local government. And if they allow local government to stand on their own, one local government can look into the face of governor and say, look, I'm not going to deliver my local government to you. So governor wants to be in control of all the local government, federal government to be in control of all the states. So what they are doing is more power tussle. That is only what they are doing. So if federal government will succeed in making the local government independent, it will go a long way.
Okay.
Because a lot of local governments are lazy. They are doing nothing. They are waiting for allocation.
Right.
So for me, it's a welcome development. But let's see how it will pan out.
Thank you.
Then 1 year of this administration.
All right, you might want to speed it. You might want to say that in 30 seconds. Let's go.
Hello?
Yeah, in 30 seconds for want of time.
Yeah. So, what I want to chip in on the 1 year.
Yeah, very quickly. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. So, yes. For me, it's good the federal government are celebrating it a low-key because they don't have anything to tell Nigeria.
Okay.
We are patiently waiting for this day to come. And all the promises they made to us, one has never been fulfilled. So there's nothing they will come on air again to tell us. So for me, under 1 year of this administration, nothing to show for it.
All right, thank you. Yeah, all right. Dr. Austin, you've heard, one of the family members right there. Let's also hear from another, and then we'll get back to you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Odwa.
Yes, good morning to you, Honorable.
Yeah, morning. Again, Mr. Odwa.
Yes, please.
The issue is clear. We have been complaining, we have been saying it's a very good topic. It's a good topic. But, you just mentioned something very important. Even our guests have mentioned at the state House of Assembly, are they ready? Are they prepared to get the required signature for the autonomy, local government autonomy to work? If you go to local government, we have been saying this year, go to local government, you discover that people are moving from local government to Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and everything. But not for the fact that nothing is happening at local government. The congestion we're having here is as a result of failure from our governors who are not releasing that money to local government. So this is very important. They should make this mandatory. This is the last chance we have to make. It must be, okay, can local government come out and give us their achievements? Like the way the president has done. Can they tell us that this is a project they have done? No, because the money is not getting to them. Go to local government, you are a journalist, go and investigate. The money is not getting to local government.
Okay.
The moment you remove this, is to even reduce the power of governors. Instead of them to concentrate on security, look at what is happening, education and all those things. They are just interested in taking money from local government. This is something that you don't need to ask me to prove to you. Go and investigate. So it is the best decision. It's the best decision.
All right, Honorable.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Edwards right there saying it's the best decision that can ever happen should the federal government be able to prevail, over the 36 state governments, which, by the way, are indeed somewhat fighting, pretty hard to ensuring that does not come to play, even as they've been, taken to the Supreme Court right there. But the doctor, well, let's just go pay some bills. We'll be right back, and we'll talk more about this, right? It is the Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, where we give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. We'll be right back, and we'll be taking your calls, as well as having more deliberations. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Please listen to this announcement. Luxler Construction Limited presents a limited time offer on its off-plan price for Kasana houses till June 15th. Grab these incredible deals. 4-bedroom terrace duplex at 40 million naira. 3-bedroom terrace duplex at 35 million naira. 2-bedroom flat at 23 million naira. And 3-bedroom flat at 28 million naira. The first 2 buyers of the 3-bedroom duplex will get it at 33 million naira. For Life Camp, the ongoing project is still available and many subscribers are moving into the estate. 3-bedroom terrace duplex at 43 million naira and 4-bedroom terrace duplex at 52 million naira. Covered by NHF and rent-to-own scheme. They also offer 6 to 12 months flexible payment plans. For more information, contact Luxler Construction Limited at 070-5758-2753. That is 070-5758-2753. Secure your dream house now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Hi there. Do you want to know how to get the correct approval or documents for your land and property? Do you need the right information on how you can prevent your building from being demolished? Then tune in to Town Planning Program on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja every Thursday by 4:30 p.m.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio.
Eagles 102.3.
You are tuned in and logged on to Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, where we give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. And we're still talking matters that concern the federal government suing the local governments. I beg your pardon, the federal government suing the 36 state governors right there over autonomy for the local government in Nigeria. And we still have our guest, who is indeed joining us via phone call, is in the person of Dr. Austin Maho, and yes, he is a lecturer in public affairs, commentator, publisher, Daybreak Nigeria newspaper. Doctor, I know you're there. Well, Doctor, let's look at something that's that might just be quite an issue, and this thing is about what role should traditional rulers play in local government administration, especially when you also look at it from the place where we've seen what's going on in Kano State right there, where many people, believe that if the traditional, rulers, or we're also giving, some sort of strengthening, they could indeed have a contributory, impact on the people or on the society.
Yeah, very, very interesting question, Daniel.
Yeah.
The role of traditional rulers or traditional institutions in governance have been long and contentious.
Right.
There have always been this agitation, that there should be specific rule, constitutionally assigned role for traditional rulers. If you look at some of the national conference, especially the one President Jonathan organized in 2014, that agitation was a major issue. But we do know that as of today, constitutionally, the traditional rulers or our traditional institutions don't have a role in government. There's no assigned role to us traditional institutions. And that is why, as for instance, the example you gave in Kano, as powerful as the Emir of Kano is, he's just under the office of the commissioner. Is answerable to the commissioner of local government and chieftaincy affairs. So the position of the governor, another institution of state, is far ahead of the office of the Emir. And that is equally the situation in other states of the federation, especially in the southern part of the country. The office of the governor is way ahead. The governor has the power to remove, a traditional ruler as he pleases, because the governor that appoints, hand over the staff of office and decide, come up with the framework, of course, working with other stakeholders, to give the code of conduct, code of behavior to their traditional rulers. But be that as it may, I think the way we have been treating as traditional institution is over the years since independence. It's more of a colonial heritage, which I strongly believe that we need to do away with and begin to look at ways we can assign constitutional role to our traditional institution. Because most of these traditional, especially the first class chief, you look at people like the Emir of Kano, the Oni of Ife, the Oba of Benin. These are strong traditional institutions that are highly revered by their people. And as stakeholders in the development of their states and the country as a whole, I believe they should have a stronger voice in protecting and promoting not just their traditional culture, but in the development of this country. It's not as if the tradition, assigning a constitutional role to them, it doesn't mean that they have to now hold the paraphernalia of governance and office, but it's for the constitution to recognize their office, place higher value on them than it's currently obtained.
Yeah,
you look at
I
you look at institutions. Sorry, Daniel. Let me just drop this.
Okay.
You look at institutions like the British royal family,
yes,
and other royal families across Europe. There is no specific constitutional powers assigned to them, but the Constitution of Britain, for instance, recognizes Buckingham Palace and as the King of England is the head of government, although it's his ceremonial role. But that conveys a lot of respect and dignity to the office in such a way that they are able to preserve the culture and heritage of the British people. So that is what we want to see. It's what has obtained over the years in our situation served the colonial government.
Okay.
It was allowed because they actually came to destroy our traditional institution and install their own style of government. But I think having seen that these people actually can play a role in government, there's a need for a review. And that is some of the submission that was made during the last constitutional conference, which I feel the government should look at.
Well,
look at and begin to assign specific roles to traditional institutions for the peace and harmonious existence of the different ethnic groups that lives within the country.
All right. Well, you're very clear that while their roles are not explicitly defined, traditional institutions are somewhat acknowledged as important components. But we might also want to consider Section 25 of the Constitution recognizing traditional rulers as traditional authorities and provide for their roles in the administration of their respective communities. Section 28 of the Constitution empowers state houses of assembly to confer recognition on traditional rulers and provide for their roles and responsibility. And then the fourth schedule, Part 2, Section 15 of the Constitution lists traditional authorities among the bodies that may be consulted by local government councils in the performance of their functions. Well, let's take this call right now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Dua.
Yes, good morning, please.
Sir.
Good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning to my doctor. It's been a while. I've been enjoying his analysis for quite some time now.
Right.
My name is Kundu, taking all the way from Nasarawa State.
All right.
Yes, I want to quickly say that local government is very closer to the people. Several projects they undertake, they understood what the people need better than the governor. And they are the grassroots with the people, and they can easily be held accountable. The people can easily access them. It's not easy to access, a state governor, but you can easily access a local government chairman. You can easily go to his house. You know his grandchildren, you know his fathers, you know his mothers, you know where he come from, you know where you can get him to ask him questions. And they are not careful. But one thing is that the governors are taking advantage of the joint account to meet the local government right, which is very correct to the people. And again, you will discover that they like to put their boys and their girls, in the local government, that whatever they do, nobody complains. But one thing I want.
Hello, Tekken B. Hello.
Can be amended where the index from the federal can conduct the local government election, so that we can have local government chairman that will directly know.
Yes, we lost you. We lost you at some point. That's what's going on.
Okay. Yes. I'm saying that I want whereby the law can be amended that will not allow the state electoral commission to conduct local government election because governors use the state local government this thing. When they conduct election, if it is PDP, all of them will win the election. Let INEC at the federal level conduct local government election so that people can win and they can be able to challenge the governor. But if the governor puts his voice there, nobody can challenge them. Thank you very much.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Tekken B, for that one right there. You can as well add your voice in the discourse and let us know what you think. Give an appraisal for the president's 1 year administration, as well as also look at the fight for local government autonomy as it is ongoing between the federal government and the 36 state governors right there. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Comrade Salisu on the line.
All right, Comrade Salisu, right? Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah. I'm calling from Suleja, Niger State.
All right, let's have your take very quickly, please.
Yeah, thank you. For me, I want to my take about the president of Nigeria for 1 year in office.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I can say I'm not for anything. I have 0% because any government that comes to office and gives depression and frustration is not a government that can score anything. When you are seeing the 1 year, the frustration and depression for the country. Because you come as a president for the first time, the president has gone, no plan, nothing on ground. You say as president has gone, and people in Nigeria start frustration and depression in the whole country, suffering in the country. No direction of the government, no planning, only frustration and depression. So I see him score in the 1 year now. There's no directions.
Okay.
Everything, no economy, frustration, everything, depression. No good things that come for 1 year. We're always suffering and smiling.
All right, all right, comrade. Comrade,
Yeah.
what about the local government autonomy, where the federal government is suing the 36 state governors?
Yeah, local government is the right direction, but we will see until implemented.
Okay.
So when the implement there, we are going to jubilate that we have tried. But for now, for in government, the price is zero, economy is zero, everything is frustration now. It's no direction, no good direction in the country now.
Comrade. Yeah.
Everywhere are hungry and we are not smiling. So it's marking zero in 1 year.
All right, comrade. Thank you for that one right there. And the number is 0907-353-0044 or 0908-766-8888, and the WhatsApp portal number where you can send a WhatsApp voice note to, as well as a WhatsApp message, which I will strongly advise for a WhatsApp portal message, is 0909-705-4450. Okay, so I see this particular one right now via the WhatsApp portal number. Okay. Okay. Well, this is not so clear from this end. You have not really given anything. All right. Okay. Well, anyways, let's move away from that now. Let's get to this one. And this one right here says from Sanusi from Suleja, it says local government is the grassroots government. It is very close to the people. Because of that, they should be given autonomy. Power belongs to the people, Sanusi says. And it says on the issue of 1 year in office, with all their achievements so far, I think they should concentrate more on the ameliorating the sufferings and pains of the electorates, that's the masses. Prices of goods and commodity is on the high side. Purchasing power is not there to meet the needs of poor masses. Sanusi right there from Suleja has got that to say. Well, comrade, I beg your pardon, Dr. Austin.
I'm the comrade.
You're comrade too. All right. Well, Nigerians are talking, and it seems as though when it comes to rating the president, we are mostly looking at what we feel rather than what is said to have been achieved by the administration. Of course, hunger, prices of commodity is taken the lead in this regard, and many Nigerians are saying that it's time for the president to focus on doing things that would bring down the price of food and commodities, and that could also be linked to what's going on between the federal government and the organized labor. What's your thoughts, on that one as it relates to, what the Nigerians are facing in that regard?
Yeah. Nigerians are going through a lot. There's no doubt about it. But before I address your question, I just wanted to make one correction.
Right.
In relation to the role of traditional rulers in government. What I was trying to highlight was, as a date, so that there's no mix-up. The Constitution obviously recognizes traditional rulers, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
But as a date, they don't have specific roles, and this role need to be highlighted.
Okay.
Nigerians need to know if my traditional, what role does it need to play within the community? You don't give a staff of office to a traditional ruler, and he doesn't have specific roles to play. And that needs to be defined. And that is where the constitution comes in. And again, in these days where there is so much, because if you look at what is happening in some states of the federation where there is high rate of banditry, where there are so many ungoverned territories, these places have traditional rulers, they have local leaders. What role are you assigning to them to play to rein in rogue elements within their domain? Do you hold them? Does the state have the capacity to hold them responsible for peace in their domain when you've not assigned specific roles to them? So the point is, these traditional rulers, irrespective of constitutional recognition, they still need to be given specific roles that you can hold them accountable for. So that is the point.
Right.
So that brings us to the issue you raised about trying to look at the minimum wage,
yes,
the living standard of Nigerians, especially in the light of the discussion of the 1 year anniversary of the administration.
Right.
I think the verdict is out. Many Nigerians that have spoken, obviously their life, their standard of living is not better off than it was a year ago.
Right.
Life has become harder and tougher. And that is why Labour is asking for a new minimum wage, which, the government and Labour, they are yet to reach a consensus. At the last check, the federal government is offering 60,000 naira, which Labour rejected outrightly. I think we should equally on that, we should keep our eye on the ball, because there's the 31st of May deadline, which Labour said they are not going back on, and the country may as well shut down after this 1 year anniversary of the administration. However, the fact is Nigerians are suffering. Inflation, food inflation is at an all-time high at 50%. Inflation is at 33%. How do Nigerians cope? Like I was telling somebody a few days ago, a 2,500 grams of powdered maize costs about 61,000. If you go online, the cost of tomatoes these days has gone haywire. Tomatoes and pepper. So it's a miracle that many Nigerians are still celebrating. And the government should be able to look at these sufferings Nigerians are going through and come up with policies and programs that have direct impact at reducing food inflation, reducing general inflation, having a direct impact on the value of the naira and the standard of living of Nigerians.
Right.
Because that is the whole essence and purpose of government. If the living standard of Nigerian is going down, my life is being devalued on a daily basis, you are precipitating a situation that can lead to social unrest. And that is what the government should strive to avoid. There's a quiet storm in the land. People are hungry. An angry man is an angry man. If a little spark should ignite in the country as it is today, there may be a conflagration.
Well, Doctor,
that will not go well for the country.
Yeah.
And that is why government should do all within its power to ensure that life, food, availability is guaranteed. And the life of the average Nigerian is equally made easy.
All right.
Failure to do this,
the
next 1 year may not be as peaceful as the last 1 year had been.
All right. Indeed, if the 36 state governors refuse to allow local government autonomy, it would mean that the people at a grassroots level would continue to be denied the benefits of good governance. and the implication would be a continued lack of development, poverty, and underdevelopment. Well, Dr. Austin Maho, thank you for your voice, having your voice in the discourse. Time was not allowing us. If not, we would have also looked at whether or not there's a concern about whether or not should the local government be given the autonomy, would they also not turn out to be like the state governors, and what impact in terms of development would that bring to the economy and the country? I know you've shed light on that and all of that, but anyways, we'll be having this conversation. I mean, it's still ongoing as the federal government has taken the case to the Supreme Court, and we'll see how all of these pan out, right? Looking forward to having more conversation with you, Dr. Austin Maho.
It's been a pleasure, Daniel.
Yes, thank you.
Happy 1 year anniversary.
Exactly.
Of the APC-led Tinubu administration.
Right.
And we pray that the next 1 year we'll have a better story to tell, and Nigerians will be happy.
That's right. Amen to that one. All right, that's where we call it a close. And to you that have contributed your quote, adding your voice to the discourse, that would be also looking at some of the messages very quickly. Good morning, Daniel. I'm listening from Nasarawa State. Even the local government is not given an autonomy. The law should be amended to stop the State Electoral Commission from conducting local government election. Governors hate to conduct local government election, but when they finally do, the party in the state wins all the seats. Tekken Beyundu right there. And see this one, James from Suleja says, the scorecard of the government is in this 1 year is embarrassing at best. Time and again, they have put the horse before the cart, and that has resulted in policy somersaults, plunging Nigerians into further uncertainties. Removing subsidy with no palliative measures to cushion the effect was an arrogant and ignorant move, and going one step further to float the naira without any clear-cut approach to combating the expected inflation is even more clueless. Sharing cash as palliatives was a desperate move to buy people's support, and to make matters worse, they chose to subsidize the dollar to force it down. And on the issue of local government autonomy, instead of suing governors, why can't the federal government go through the National Assembly? All right, that is some question right there. Honorable Edwards, apologies, can't take that voice note, but thank you all the same. And to you who have listened from the comfort of your homes or from your workplaces, we want to say that we don't take your listenership for granted. Tomorrow is yet another time on Eagles Outlook. My name is Udwak Daniel.